According to a statutory creditors report filed with Australia's corporate regulator ASIC on February 24, 2026, the talent management company Gemi Agency Thai Limited entered voluntary liquidation on November 25, 2025, owing the Australian Taxation Office $543,548 Australian dollars. The company's total confirmed debts stood at $546,848, the majority owed to the tax office, with a further $3,300 owed to a small accountancy firm called Jack Lawrence Accountants and Advisors. The administrator appointed to handle the collapse is Grant Thornton Australia. Their statutory creditors report is a public document filed with ASIC, and that document is the foundation for what follows. Gemi Agency is owned and operated by Gemma O'Neill, the same person who, on March 10, 2026, publicly announced that Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, would headline a 3-day luxury retreat in Sydney in April, with tickets priced from $2,699 to $3,199 Australian dollars per person. That announcement came 14 days after the creditors' report was filed. The report itself contains details that document a significant gap between the financial position O'Neill described to administrators and the circumstances surrounding the retreat. To understand the full picture, it is necessary to start with the structure of the businesses involved, because there are two separate entities at the center of this story, and they are not the same company. Gemi Agency Thai Limited is the talent management firm that entered liquidation in November 2025. It is the company O'Neill ran for approximately 2 years, representing media personalities including Jackie O. Henderson. It is the company that owes the Australian Taxation Office more than $500,000. Besties Australia Thai Limited is a separate and currently active company. It was registered in October 2022, with O'Neill as director and secretary, and was co-founded with Henderson as a joint venture. Besties Australia hosts the Her Best Life podcast and is organising the Her Best Life retreat at which Meghan is confirmed to appear. Besties Australia is not in liquidation. That distinction matters. The retreat is being run through the active company, not the collapsed one. However, the Grant Thornton creditors report, the official document filed in relation to the collapsed company, contains a detail that directly connects the two. The report documents a loan of $18,143 Australian dollars made from the collapsed Gemi Agency to Besties Australia. O'Neill's response to this, as recorded in the report, was that the balance was incorrectly recorded by the company's former accountant and the transactions in the loan account were in respect of costs incurred by the company and not by Besties Australia. That dispute between O'Neill and her former accountant remains unresolved as of the most recent verified reporting. The administrator has noted it and continues to examine the company's affairs. The same creditors' report contains a further significant finding. Between October 2023 and March 2024, Gemi Agency received what the Grant Thornton report describes as a 7-figure commission from an unnamed key client. The report specifies the exact figures. The agency invoiced the client for $1,042,505.01 on February 21, 2024. That commission was paid in 2 stages. Cash installments totaling $254,480 between February 26 and March 5, 2024, and transfers totaling $788,125 paid against the director's loan account between October and December 2023. The report states that this payment was not supported by any documented loan agreement, commercial consideration, or demonstrable benefit to the company. Administrators noted they are investigating the circumstances surrounding that payment. The identity of the key client has not been confirmed in the official document or in any named official statement. Multiple outlets have reported their own interpretation of who the client was, but because those accounts do not rest on named confirmation from within the document itself, this channel does not present that claim as confirmed. Fact. What the document does confirm is the following. A company that received over $1 million Australian dollars in commission within a 6-month window subsequently entered voluntary liquidation, owing more than $500,000 to the tax office, with its director informing administrators in February 2026 that she had no available personal savings, limited income, and had been unable to refinance her Sydney apartment. That sequence of events is documented. The administrators are investigating it. No findings or charges have been issued. Gemma O'Neill has spent more than 25 years in Australian and international media. She has held executive positions in Australia, New Zealand, the United States, and the United Kingdom. She worked as an assistant and creative executive at Nicole Kidman's production company Blossom Films, served as head of the hit network at SCA Australia, and was chief content officer of NSME in New Zealand. She holds a master's degree in business administration, is a non-executive board director of Carrie's Beanies for Brain Cancer, and is co-director of Besties Australia and host of the Her Best Life podcast. Her primary management client at the time Jemmy Agency entered liquidation was Jackie O. Henderson. Jacqueline Ellen Henderson, born January 31, 1975, one of Australia's most commercially significant media figures. Henderson is relevant here because what happened to her radio career in February 2026 and what happened to Jemmy Agency occurred on the same date. On February 20, 2026, during a live broadcast of the Kyle and Jackie O Show on Keys FM in Sydney, co-host Kyle Sandilands publicly criticised Henderson on air during a segment about Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's horoscope, telling her she was off with the fairies. Henderson left the studio during the live broadcast. She subsequently informed the show's parent company, Arn Media, that she cannot continue to work with Mr. Kyle Sandilands. Arn terminated Henderson's 10-year, $100 million contract in early March 2026, and the Kyle and Jackie O Show was axed. Henderson subsequently filed a lawsuit in the federal court against Arn's subsidiary, Commonwealth Broadcasting Corporation, seeking at least $82,250,000 Australian dollars, the reported unpaid portion of her contract, alleging breach of the Fair Work Act and misleading and deceptive conduct under Australian consumer law. Arn confirmed the legal action in a statement to the ASX and said it disputes the claims. February 20, 2026 was also the date on which O'Neill informed Grant Thornton Australia that she could not make any repayment contributions to Jemmy Agency's debts. Both events, the termination of Henderson's radio career and O'Neill's formal communication to administrators that she was unable to repay her company's tax debts, are documented as occurring on the same day. Henderson confirmed on February 3, 2026 that she was stepping away from the Her Best Life podcast and would not be involved in the retreat. The account of how Meghan came to be involved in the retreat is drawn from a named public on the record source. On March 10, 2026, the Her Best Life podcast released an episode in which O'Neill explained the origin of the collaboration. She said that in late 2025, she received a text message from a man named Marcus Anderson while Anderson was visiting Meghan's home in Montecito, California. Anderson is consistently described across multiple sources as a Soho House consultant and a long-standing close friend of Meghan's who knew her before she met Prince Harry, and who is credited with organizing the couple's first meeting in 2016. On the podcast, O'Neill said Anderson asked her whether she would want to collaborate if Meghan happened to visit Australia. O'Neill described her reaction on the podcast in her own words: "I can't believe I'm even saying those words. There's no one more shocked than me. I know what you're all thinking, because I'm thinking the same thing, which is, how has Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, this incredible woman, gone from Oprah to talking on stage with just little old me Gemma in Sydney? I have admired this woman and what she has endured, how she's risen above it, and how she has demonstrated that a woman can be pushed down and she can still rise." O'Neill also explained Meghan's stated motivation for taking part, as O'Neill understood it. She's doing this because she really loves what our community is about, which is women trying to grow, trying to be their best selves, and trying to help other women. No spokesperson for Meghan has publicly contradicted that account. The Sussex office has confirmed only that Meghan remains committed to attending the event. What the event involves, as documented on the official Her Best Life website, is a 3-day weekend at the Intercontinental Sydney Coogee Beach from April 17th to April 19th. Early bird tickets are priced at $2,699 Australian dollars per person in twin-share accommodation, covering 2 nights of accommodation, a gala dinner with alcohol, a disco dinner, Saturday lunch, breakfast both mornings, and access to all speaker sessions, wellness activities, and experiences across the weekend. VIP tickets are priced at $3,199 Australian dollars per person, and additionally include seating in the front 2 rows at the gala dinner with Meghan, a group table photo with the Duchess, a premium ocean view room, and an exclusive VIP goodie bag. The event is capped at 300 attendees. The documented timeline, placed in sequence, is as follows. In November 2025, Jemmy Agency Thai Limited entered voluntary liquidation. That was November 25, 2025. 4 days earlier, on November 21st, O'Neill had publicly revealed renovations to her Clovelly apartment, Property records confirmed by multiple outlets citing the Daily Mail Australia show that O'Neill also completed the purchase of a 3-bedroom cottage in Fitzroy Falls in the Southern Highlands of New South Wales on October 3, 2025 for $1,025,000 Australian dollars. The sale settled on December 17, 2025, 7 weeks after the agency entered liquidation. On February 20, 2026, O'Neill told Grant Thornton Australia she had no available personal savings, limited income, and had failed to refinance her beachside apartment. On February 24, 2026, the statutory creditors report was filed with ASIC. On March 10, 2026, the Sydney retreat was publicly announced with Meghan as the headline guest. On March 18, 2026, a Sussex representative confirmed that Meghan remains committed to attending. Each of those dates is confirmed in public records or named on the record sources. O'Neill's explanation for the company's collapse, as stated to administrators, is that it resulted from poor external financial advice which led to the company being unable to service its substantial taxation obligations. That explanation is part of the record. The Grant Thornton creditors report, with its documentation of the 7-figure commission and ongoing investigation, is also part of the record. The administrator's inquiry into the circumstances of that payment continues. By early April 2026, O'Neill had deleted her personal Instagram account, known as @JemmyJean. No public statement was issued by O'Neill explaining the deletion. The Her Best Life podcast's Instagram account remained active and continued to promote the retreat. The retreat's organizing website, herbestlife.org, also remained active. On April 3, 2026, GB News published a report that the Intercontinental Sydney Coogee Beach, the confirmed venue for the April 17 to 19 retreat, remained unfinished weeks before the event's scheduled opening. No statement was issued by the hotel, by Besties Australia, or by the Sussex office in response to that report. As of April 5, 2026, both the Sussexes and O'Neill have made statements that are part of the documented record, and both are presented here. The Sussex office's position is limited and specific. A spokesperson confirmed that Meghan remains committed to appearing at the retreat. When asked separately about a petition opposing taxpayer-funded support for the couple's broader Australia visit, a Sussex spokesperson said, "The trip is being funded privately, so I'm not sure what this petition hopes to achieve." That statement addressed the overall visit, not the retreat specifically. The question of who is funding security arrangements for the couple's time in Australia remains publicly unanswered. The Australian Department of the Prime Minister and Cabinet, the Department of Home Affairs, and the Australian Federal Police each confirmed they have no involvement in the visit. O'Neill's position, drawn from the March 10 podcast episode, is that the retreat came together through a personal connection facilitated by Marcus Anderson, that Meghan is attending as a reflection of her support for the community the podcast has built, and that Anderson's involvement was the bridge that made the collaboration possible. O'Neill also told GB News, "I felt like I didn't deserve her." She attributed her company's financial difficulties to external advice, not to her own financial decisions. Neither party has addressed the detail that sits at the centre of the Grant Thornton creditors report, the $1,042,000 Australian dollar commission received by the collapsed company from an unnamed client, paid in circumstances the administrators describe as lacking any documented loan agreement, commercial consideration, or demonstrable benefit to the company. That investigation is ongoing. No findings have been released. As of April 5, 2026, the confirmed status of the relevant elements of this story is as follows. Jemmy Agency remains in voluntary liquidation. Grant Thornton Australia continues to administer the case and is actively investigating the circumstances of the 7-figure commission payment. No charges have been laid and no findings have been published. Besties Australia remains a separate, active legal entity and continues to operate the retreat. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, is confirmed to appear at the Her Best Life retreat in Sydney from April 17 to April 19, 2026. That confirmation was issued by a Sussex representative and has not been withdrawn as of the most recent available reporting. The retreat venue was reported as unfinished on April 3, 2026, with no subsequent statement from the venue, the organiser, or the Sussex office. Jackie O. Henderson's lawsuit against Arn Media is active, with a court date scheduled for April 24, 2026. No financial terms for Meghan's appearance at the retreat have been confirmed by any named party. Whether any appearance fee is being paid, and if so to whom, remains publicly undisclosed. The documented record on this story has significant gaps, not because reporting has been thin, but because several of the central questions remain formally unanswered. The identity of the key client whose commission is currently under administrator investigation has not been confirmed in any official document. The source of funding for security arrangements during the couple's Australia visit has not been confirmed. The terms of Meghan's engagement have not been disclosed. Whether the venue will be ready in time for the April 17th opening has not been confirmed. What the ASIC Public Records and the Grant Thornton Creditors Report do confirm is that the person organising a retreat at which the Duchess of Sussex is the confirmed headline guest, with tickets priced up to $3,199 Australian dollars, formally informed administrators under a legal insolvency process that she had no personal savings and could not repay more than $500,000 in tax debts. That communication was made on February 20, 2026. The retreat was publicly announced on March 10, 2026. It is scheduled to take place from April 17 to April 19, 2026. The Grant Thornton Creditors Report is a public document. The ASIC records are public. The event website is live. The Sussex confirmation is on record. That is the verified state of this story as of April 5, 2026. When the retreat takes place and when the administrator investigation produces findings, this channel will cover both developments on the same terms, named sources, official documents, and the documented consequence placed first.